Ladies and gentlemen, it is finals time here for the $300 minimum 44 variant on January 4th. We've got Zodiac and EvilWithin battling it out here in our current best of 3 to decide it all. And of course, doing the casting for you guys is myself, Leno, joined alongside by Jen, aka Lemon Kiwi. Jen, we've got two of these Titans, of course, just got to witness EvilWithin coming off a big victory in a 2-0, aka round 11. Search and destroy, clutch slash Ninja Defuse coming in from ProFeeZy. There's a lot of titles to that. But they've got having a lot of momentum after that last series, kind of coming in now to St. Marie du Mans. We've obviously got to witness both of these teams play up to this point, and I want to know what your thoughts are on both of these squads. Who do you think is going to have the advantage, maybe when it comes down to Hardpoint out of the 3 game modes?
Well, if we remember the last couple games that both these teams have been winning, like EvilWithin won only by about 16 points against ExoMoon. If you remember, Zodiac only won by 18 points against Havoc, which are both amazing teams. So I think we're pretty evenly matched up, but a lot of kills here going in favor of EvilWithin. They are currently in the point advantage as well, as 22 seconds remain here in the first hill before we'll see rotations over onto the winery lot on the complete left side of the map. We'll see a 4-man push from Zodiac, see if they'll be able to infiltrate this hill and fight for some more scrap points. Huge kills coming out of Nihill and ProFeeZy, and not enough in favor of Zodiac. They are able to get the last 5 seconds, but if we look on rotations here, it's looking like it's in favor of EvilWithin for the second hill.
And just honestly, that was incredibly well played when it comes down to bottom red. I mean, as far as the overall control comes in from the guys in EvilWithin, right? They kind of take most of the control. They're obviously up at the end of the first hill, but they're also very aware of the outside lanes. They can either come in through that second hill, or that last hill, excuse me, also coming in through that V-bomb site when it comes in to search and destroy, but just being fully aware of both lanes and obviously kind of fading back here into winery lot. And honestly, when we kind of talk about St. Marie du Mans as a whole, I mean, really second and third hill is are the money hills when it comes down to this map, here on winery and also on parking lot, which are on opposite sides of the map. But generally, just a very well played kind of backing up from EvilWithin. They're obviously not in current control of the Hardpoint, just as I say that. They dropped 2, but now in control of winery lot. They do a great job at holding down first hill, fading back, and they're now contesting for this next hill, which is going to be on parking lot.
Parking lot, yeah, completely at the top side of the map, and those early rotations here in favor of Zodiac, where Brett started off with a pretty important kill on, I forgot the player's name from EvilWithin, but now he'll be the first to touch. But look at this setup here. You got Tisch all the way onto the streets phase, and Baker and Mike holding on to the preferable spawns for it. And I can see a player we'll have to keep in mind here is Glorious. He's trying to fight for those spawns, and this is going to be important engagements coming from the bottom, but he gets taken out along with Phantomz. So not enough members here from EvilWithin to infiltrate this hill, and now you can see Zodiac are slowly crawling into this one after being down by about 30 points. Brett going in huge, Baker also cleaning up your feed. Nihill trying to go for some trades, but EvilWithin have not had enough potential going into this one, but now it's only a 1v1 of Baker versus Nihill to get the scrap time here, but gotta keep in mind the Zodiac have the preferable spawns here.
And this is the reason why we talk about, like I said, hill number 2, hill number 3 currently being parking lot are the money hills for this map. A complete dominance in the first 2 hardpoints that came in from EvilWithin, and now that entire lead has been wiped away. It's, of course, a lead change that goes the way of Zodiac. Of course, keeping in mind Phantomz is grabbing the scrap points, which is going to change the lead yet again. But off of that rotation, we get to witness the difference between both of these teams. We talk about the up-close personal fight. That's going to be more preferred in EvilWithin's position. They like the kind of SMGs up close in your face. That's where really ProFeeZy, Nihill at times, and especially Glory can really do a lot of that damage. And you obviously see the guys from Zodiac. They kind of fade back toward parking lot, excuse me. They do a lot of the damage. They have the ARs kind of lingering in outside positions. I mean, this is the difference between both of these teams. One team likes to play a little bit slower, kind of hang around different corners, kind of play passively and kind of take you off while they're on a head glitch. The other team likes to be right in your face and just pick up quick kills in quick succession, which is exactly what we're seeing here coming in from Phantomz as he finds 2 with the bar. Potential 3rd in his midst as he's locking in a lot of free time, which is going to get Baker a little bit uneasy. At the same time, Tisch drops 4 down, and just like that, we talk about leads going back and forth. It's EvilWithin who have held lookout post flawlessly.
Yeah, and exactly in the middle of the map also, EvilWithin are able to control middle restaurant and just keeping into that top window, able to rain down onto the hill, make it so difficult for Zodiac to even touch it. So most of that last control in favor of EvilWithin, and they take another lead. But here at the restaurant, it's going to be Zodiac that get first touch, and they're trying to close this gap of about 25 points between EvilWithin. But as you can see, so many botters are being stacked. Let's go on board here with also Phantomz, who's on a 4 streak, and just like I say, he does get killed nonetheless. Let's take a look at Tisch, who's on a 4 streak here, who's going to be sitting into this hill and trying to deal with these players from EvilWithin. just flooding into it, and it's just going to be a battle. But however, it's going to be Zodiac occupying most of the time, and with 26 seconds left, you're going to have to see rotations over into Winery Lot, where ProFeeZy is going to be the one rotating here for EvilWithin.
And like I said, keeping in mind the rotations that are being made, ProFeeZy has snuck his way around toward Winery, and this is a massive play to be keeping in mind, because why? The spawns are getting ready to come through. We talked about hill number 2, hill number 3, first one being Winery Lot, are the money hills. This is the group that you want to be holding, and with these streaks coming in, Baker isn't fully aware that at least ProFeeZy's in this backside position, but does get the call out. I believe actually ProFeeZy did have airborne on, so he did have at least somewhat of an idea that he was on the flank. So they hold good control when it came down to bottom red, and with the streak starting to fly in while holding down Winery, things are looking good because Apox finds all 3 lingering through mid-street. Baker finds 2, nearly finds what could have been that last kill on to, I believe, Baker, but still looking on here, a pretty decently sized lead for the boys on Zodiac, as they made their rotation toward Winery, and Phantomz has made his way on the flank, takes out one. Can't do much damage than that, but this is a complete flip to what we saw in the first set of rotations. We saw it was the guys from EvilWithin who pretty much dominantly controlled hill number 1 and hill number 2, but now on this side, it's the guys in Zodiac who locked down the first 2 hard points. But now, of course, keeping in mind parking lot, this is where we saw that entire lead wiped away from Zodiac. They actually took the lead on this hill pretty much in a duplicate situation to what we see now, and we'll see if the guys from EvilWithin can respond and lock down time on this particular hard point as well.
Yeah, and at least EvilWithin have their priority straight. They sent ProFeeZy, and they're sending Phantomz on the flank to go for these spawns, but they were not able to really get any time back onto that last hill. But we are now currently into parking lot, where EvilWithin did have those early rotations. Now capitalizing on that, you'll see Tisch and Mike and Baker now coming from above. ProFeeZy's going to be in the corner, finds an easy kill onto Tisch, and now they are aware there is a player in that corner. So you can see Brett now trying to go from around the corner. He gets picked off as well. So this is a very nice defensive setup from EvilWithin, trying to close this gap here. It's about 20-point differential, and it's been really back and forth. Zodiac had most of the hold on the last hill, but now ProFeeZy going to be laying down, gets an easy kill, and let's see if he can get a double. Can he get the triple? And he does. Wonderful kills out of EvilWithin, and they do, or if they're able to get the scrap time, they're going to be taking the lead here as well.
And that just goes to show how similar these teams are, man. Like I said, it goes back and forth. We see Zodiac basically in the exact same position, kind of flipping roles as far as things are considered. Like I said, we see the guys in EvilWithin make the rotation toward parking lot, and they are immediately back in this game. Now looking at Lookout Post, of course, for the last hill of the second set of rotations. It's a 2-point game. This one could quickly be evened up shortly, unless Nihill has anything to say about it, picking off one from behind. But it looks like player number 4, Tisch, doing some damage, taking out both Nihill and Phantomz off the break. Half the team dropped, but the other half trying to make their way through mid-street. Still locking down this backside flank as Tisch falls. Glory playing incredibly sound when it comes down to EvilWithin, hopping inside of the hard point on a 3 spree at the moment, and also being the main player to try and engage up close in personal fights. 6 bullets in the clip, pulls out the STG in his back pocket, but no bullets have hardly any ammo, or no guns have any ammo rather at that. But it looks like the last 18 seconds currently being given away. As back and forth we see, but EvilWithin has taken the lead, but to no avail, Jen. It really seems to be the second and third hill are what is really deciding this game. Who can lock down Winery, and who can obviously lock down parking lot. Honestly, if we see one team kind of lock down, for the most part, both of those hard points for a majority, I think that's the team who wins this game, regardless of the current lead that we see the guys in EvilWithin at right now.
Yeah, and EvilWithin were able to hold pretty much lookout posts on both rotations, mainly because they're able to control top restaurant so much better than the other team. They always have a player posted up, and they're able to rain down in the hill and getting pretty much a full 60-second control on both lookout posts, able to extend their lead only by 20 points. However, it's always Zodiac. Although EvilWithin always have a player in restaurant for the rotation into restaurant, Zodiac are able to break into restaurant so much better and maximize their time there, and really where they're able to close the lead. And now less than 10 points separate these two teams. Both teams now flooding these players in. We're currently on board with Phantomz trying to exchange nades and hopefully win this gun battle, and he does when it gets Brett, but the trades going back and forth. This is going to be a tight game. Only 10 seconds left into restaurant before we go into Winery, where we saw Zodiac time and time again having those early rotations as they do now, where hopefully they can maximize their time and possibly win on this next one.
This is the first time we're going to see EvilWithin make a full team push into Winery Lot. The first set of rotations, they locked things down. Second set of rotations, they hit a player on the flank who ended up dying. But now, here comes the full man push, and Brett Jump is taking down every single one, dropping 2. And with all 4 players getting ready to come around this corner, we'll see if he can increase this streak to 5. Give me 6. No, ends at 5, but at least earns the fighter pilot. And Baker is there to clean up scraps as they're locking down a ton of time right now onto Winery Lot, holding those head glitches. And now, EvilWithin is starting to feel the pressure. They're starting to feel the weight of what could be a map #1 loss on their shoulders. Glory holding the opposite end as it looks like they do make the push forward. They do retake the Hardpoint, and just like that, we could be seeing the last 18 seconds go the way of EvilWithin. But keeping that in mind, rotation is incredibly important. ProFeeZy is fully aware of such. ProFeeZy on one end with player number 4 Tisch right around the corner. We'll see how this fight goes. As the last few seconds do dissipate, ProFeeZy ends up dropping, and Parking Lot is fully in control of Zodiac. Can they take the lead, or can they win the game, rather? As Phantomz coming on the flank, the streak's coming forward. Phantomz does have infantry, so his position is most likely known at this point. No mountain on him, and that could be playing at a disadvantage as Apox and Tisch both trap ProFeeZy and Nihill. Phantomz literally has to go big here. Him and Glory on the flank. He ends up falling. Glory, the last saving grace for the team. Can he do any damage on the side? Picks up 1. Tries to cause a distraction because now the players are trying to enter from the front. Can Nihill do anything? Last 3 seconds. Tries to hop inside of the hill, but it's not going to work. Parking Lot is how this one will close as Zodiac win this one 250 to 219 and take map #1 in our grand final.
Oh my god, what a wonderful first hard point between these two teams, and really only 40 points, or actually 30 points separating these two teams. But to keep in mind that really ProFeeZy and Glorious had a hard time rotating around and controlling spawns, mainly why they were missing out on Winery and Parking Lot the most. And you saw the patience out of ProFeeZy in that last rotation, really waiting to have the full 3 or 4 man push to go into Parking Lot. But then he got picked, and then you saw, I think, another one of his teammates got picked, kind of trickling in one by one, and they're really getting desperate at the end. And with, you know, I think it was 230 points in favor of Zodiac at that point, so they had still a little bit of time to burn, and you really want to try and push these hills with at least 3 players, and especially how stacked Parking Lot was. There's going to be players in corners, and you got to work through these trades, and really at the end they were trickling one by one and eventually giving away that lead to Zodiac, who will take this one 250 to 219, as you did say, as we head into map #2 of Ardent Forest on Search and Destroy of this best of 3, where possibly Zodiac could be walking it away as your winners.
Do you have any smokes, as they will be on offense here for the start? Looks like a nade, looks like a stun. Smoke for ProFeeZy, and Phantomz has a nade. So I would definitely want to look at ProFeeZy's point of view off the break here for offense, and I want to see if he tosses the smoke just through middle off the start, or if they try to work something toward A, because if he uses the smoke, this is trying to limit the vision toward that back stacks area. So it looks like they're going to be making an offside hit toward A off the break. And we'll see if this does work out successfully for them, as Jump and Baker combined for the first 2. Smoke not necessarily working out as a positive in this situation, but Glory getting ready to maybe face off against Apox in what could have been a 2-on-2. Tagging up shots from the side, taking out Baker from the corner. Just overall great awareness coming in from this man Glory, as him and Phantomz are still in a position to try and clutch this round out, trying to get this bomb down in cabin. But Phantomz finds 1 big kill onto Apox, and now it's Tisch who finds himself at a disadvantage. Finds himself in a position to clutch.
Yeah, in a position to clutch. On a 1 versus 2, Glorio still with the bomb in hand. Let's take a look and see if he's going for the plant quite yet, and he is about halfway done. Nades being exchanged, but not finding any kills yet. At least Tisch has that middle map control, but is against 2 players. Remember, first blood did go in favor of Zodiac, and second and third blood in favor of EvilWithin, but it's been trades back and forth, leaving EvilWithin with the number advantage. So they're going to be camping over at the cabin side, and Phantomz keeping an eye over on the river. As let's take a look at Tisch and what he's going to be able to do, and they have spotted him. So having the bar, he's going to hopefully try and get some shots, but facing against a very tough head glitch there, easily loses that one, where EvilWithin will start with the round advantage.
Indeed they do, and that was kind of, I mean, at the beginning of the round, we kind of talk about obviously the smoke gets tossed out, the first 2 players end up dropping for EvilWithin. Like I said, the smoke is up, kind of chaos is being spread out through the map, and really they weren't in a position to really win that round, but it was kind of, I want to say, not a choke from Zodiac, but just not the best of positioning to kind of close that one out. I think there was maybe a factor of them kind of lingering on B, thinking that, hey, but they're probably going to make a rotation forward and whatnot, but obviously doesn't really take place, and we do see the guys on EvilWithin take round #1. But quickly looking at the next one, Tisch finding first blood off the break, but Phantomz is yet again waiting to greet him with an assault rifle. As the FG is still working pretty darn well in his hands, as Phantomz starting off 3-0. And from the opposite side, of course, offense being in the hands of Zodiac, of course, that one in hands of Jump, as they're still inside of mid-map. They're kind of making a decision here. Do we rotate toward A? We don't have a whole lot of positioning toward B, but Jump with the bomb in his hands has to be the lead as far as the kills are considered. Takes down ProFeeZy. At the same time, Phantomz is yet to die. He's 5-0 and is still waiting to seek who he may devour. As Jump last up, we'll see what he can try and do. But like I said, Phantomz, just a solid AR player. Kind of reminds me of back in the old days, not old days, I don't even want to say that Jetpack's the old days, but kind of reminds me of like an early Octane player, like plays his role well, doesn't challenge anything that he doesn't have to. He's going to take down Jump here in the situation, and now is sitting at 6-0 after just 2 rounds of play. Of course, hat tricks and I believe back-to-back rounds, if not maybe even the ace in this one. But like I said, he kind of reminds me of like an old Octane as far as like his overall play, because he doesn't like challenge anything that's unnecessary. Like he'll side peek certain things. He just plays like very I don't know, like a very refined AR play style. Like you're not going to see him kind of rushing around the corner when he doesn't have to. He plays things correctly. He reloads when he has to. And I'm just really excited to see how this guy Phantomz is going to play with the EvilWithin roster as time does continue, because he is just Mr. Consistent when it comes down to this particular group.
Mr. Consistent, yeah, it should be his middle name. But to also recap that last round, that was an extremely weird offense from the side of Zodiac. They really did not leave their spawn, really had Brett, the bomb carrier, pushing mid-map by himself, and then not really having the support of his teammates, so they eventually just got picked off one by one. So this is going to be a little bit more of a refined, like you said, offense, where ProFeeZy now heading towards this B-bomb site. They look a little bit more decided, but now realizing the positioning here of Zodiac, they're all over the B site now. First blood, at least here in favor of EvilWithin. Nice shots out of Phantom, but gets traded out in that process. So just like in the previous round, another 3 versus 3 situation, but now can the offense decide what bomb they want to go to? They're going towards B. They do lose Glorios in the process towards that middle map area. So now Nihill will try and lay down, see if he can win some shots here from the middle map. He does get picked off. ProFeeZy now left in a 1 versus 3, able to win one of the gunfights, now being chased from behind. Not able to clutch the 1v3 left after that, as after 2 consecutive rounds, Zodiac finally able to answer back.
And what I really like in that round from EvilWithin is they really played his streaks for Phantomz. Of course, being in, you know, fully aware of the fact that he's only maybe a kill off of those streaks. What they do is, I believe this is intentional, I'm not 100% sure if it worked out this way, or was meant to be, you know, handed out this way, but what they do is they kind of obviously take that objective toward Ruins, aka toward B. It doesn't really work out for them, and they say, okay, we're going to try to make that rush through middle. They're basically trying to allow Tisch to be a free kill. So once they kind of make their way back toward middle, maybe a little bit of lack of communication, maybe just as Tisch actually gets the sticky there onto Nihill, I think what they actually do is kind of allow Tisch to kind of pop out of his position to kind of reveal himself, and that's where Phantomz is able to find the easiest kill possible. And I think that maybe wasn't supposed to be overall intentional, but it works out incredibly well. And so while Phantomz most likely isn't going to win this 1 versus 4, at least they have streaks to work with. And this is obviously not a round that they were intending to go this way, as back-to-back do go the way of Zodiac. But regardless, I think that it was a smart play from EvilWithin to kind of sacrifice that play for streaks. But at the same time, you do allocate at least 1 round not to go your way. And then, of course, keeping in mind a 50-50 chance that the next round goes your way as well does not. So, like I said, kind of an awkward exchange. Do you give streaks away for 2 rounds? Probably not, but at least it's a positive at the end of the day. As Phantomz, like I said, playing very, very well off the break, 7-2 after what that was. I think he found 1 kill in the last 2 rounds, found 6 total in the first 2 in total. So with that looking on, we'll see how the boys from EvilWithin can do in this next offensive round.
Yeah, and I mean, after being down 0-2, Zodiac at least bring it back. I apologize. 2-2 piece, as now they are pretty decided to go towards the A-bomb site. However, they do lose Nihill pretty early in the game. At least Evil able to even up the numbers 3-3, which seems to be in the case time and time again into these rounds. Even though they get the first blood, they're able to even it up. But like I say, in a 1v2 now, Glorious gets some shots and finishes off with the pistol. But the nice pitch from all corners, I believe, gives that advantage to EvilWithin.
Actually, I think it's Zodiac.
Oh, is it the other one?
I think Zodiac wins the round. I'm pretty sure that they do. But I was kind of thinking about something as we watched that round kind of play
Zodiac,
out.
yeah.
Granted, it was EvilWithin who had some good momentum, trying to make their way yet again to the offside of the 2, and it doesn't work out in this case. But it was kind of an interesting thing to be looking at. I believe it was Glory's perspective. If you're an SMG player, be watching out for Glory's perspective a lot of the time, just because of how often he's ADSing around corners. And that's a lot of the issues that we see with kind of SMG players. Of course, I think there's been like a recent kind of upbringing, but people realizing what quick draw actually does, and it's not after sprint, it's once you've actually kind of stopped and just kind of aim in. That's when the quick draw actually comes into play. But just be keeping in mind, as Phantomz is continuing to dominate when it comes down to the ARs, as he'll find the third nearly onto Baker. But Glory, fantastic SMG, just really does a fantastic job overall at ADSing around corners constantly. And I feel like that's a lot of the issues that we see, even with top-level pros at times, is just the, kind of non-committal play, just kind of playing a little bit toward open, maybe trying to ADS around a corner at times. But he's just a very smart, well-rounded SMG player, and also is very well complemented by the guys Phantomz, who plays very sound with that AR as well, as him and Nihill find themselves in a 2 versus 2. And we'll see they try to retake this site, as this one should be going down here from Tisch and the boys on Zodiac.
Yeah, and EvilWithin had first and second blood into this game, and now, after all is said and done and the smoke clears, it's a 2v2. Let's take a look and see if Tisch is getting a bomb down. And it doesn't look like he is, so yet being extremely patient over at the cabin side. But Nihill and Phantomz at least know where the action is going down. Streaks being called in. That's Phantomz able to find Baker over on the river cave side, leaving Tisch all by himself. Now trapped in the cabin. Now it's going to be Nihill versus this other player. Oh my god, the punch. Tisch giving him the dirtiest. Now it's Phantomz left all by himself. But that was a
Tisch just Superman punched him in the air. I'm just going to call it out right now.
That needs to be clipped. Either way, after 3 consecutive rounds, that's Zodiac. Zodiac 3 consecutive rounds, and Evil answering back. And look at the streaks here. The glide bomb kill.
Yeah.
Pretty smart play there.
Yeah, and I think Nihill has a broken nose after that last round. But,
oh my god.
But looking on, granted, a lot of people are going to be kind of wary or a little bit maybe, uneasy about that streak usage in that 2 versus 2, but generally, I mean, he is using that streak to guarantee themselves a round victory, which I think is fair, as the snipe nearly comes in there from Nihill at the beginning of this round number 7. But basically, what he does is he calls in the streak, obviously gets a guaranteed kill, and then also allows it, because I believe you can at times. I mean, it's very difficult for the bomb planter to stay alive while he's planting the bomb on A, while streak's coming in, especially with a glide bomb. So, kind of at least guarantees that Tisch isn't going to hop on that objective. So. Obviously realizes the time is of a factor. I think there's around like 10 seconds left, and it's not time for Tisch to get the bomb down safely. So overall, smart round kind of given for EvilWithin. Granted, they hate to use a streak in that particular case, but obviously it does work out for them in the end. And now we find ourselves at 3-3, and currently a 3-on-3 in round number 7.
Well, ProFeeZy still has a bomb in hand. Another 3 versus 3 situation. You can see both teams are trying to play their numbers very well, but you got to keep an eye here on Mike. Apox on the other side of B. He's trying to get those long-range shots on the other side of EvilWithin, who are trying to go through B, and now deciding to probably rotate all the way towards cabin side and trick Zodiac a little bit, who are all completely surrounded over at B. So this is a very smart move as long as they're able to get the bomb down, but now deciding to infiltrate A and playing this time to try and confuse the other team. But remember that Zodiac have mid-map control, so can probably spot this rotation over there. As Trey's going back and forth now, 2 versus 1. ProFeeZy, the last one left, able to get the bomb down over at B.
Oh, I think Apox is firing a few extra bullets into the body of ProFeeZy. At least on our screen, it's not the correct angle we're shooting at, but of course does win it regardless. And I know we've been talking about Phantomz, who of course is sitting at 11-4. But Apox as well, sitting at 7-5, playing very well, as I believe he finds at least 2 kills in that round, maybe even 3, along with the defuse. So big plays coming in from him, from Zodiac. I know we haven't talked about Apox too much, but has definitely kind of been on my radar since around Black Ops 3 time. I know played with the EZG guys, had a chance to make it into first season of the CWL, but didn't end up making it. But still has kind of found himself in a number of solid rosters and continues to have some strong performances, as he is currently 7-5 right now in our grand finals of map number 2. This team only needs, in total, 2 more rounds to close out this series in a 2-0. That's definitely something to kind of bring up right now, Jen, is the fact that it is 4-3. It was the guys from Zodiac who won map 1. Granted, it was a close fashion, but it was a map victory nonetheless.
First blood there for Nihill, but gets immediately traded out, heading still towards the B-bomb site. They're going to have to deal with Gloriosa on this high ground, who has sights on Zodiac, trying to infiltrate over at B, but he's not going to be in the best position, as it looks like Zodiac might be deciding to go towards the mid-map and pinch EvilWithin from all angles. But also have to keep in mind that Zodiac are up in the Series 1-0 and also up in this S&D, so a lot of pressure here on the shoulders of EvilWithin to get these kills. Brett goes down there to important gunfight against Phantomz, now giving the advantage to EvilWithin. So let's keep an eye here on ProFeeZy, who's going to be ambitious towards this middle map and has spotted the offense from Zodiac across the map, knowing they're still ambitiously trying to go towards B, where Glorios has been sitting on that top ground position. So 16 seconds remain now. The pressure on the offense here.
It absolutely is, and just trying to hold their ground for as long as possible. Apox has actually found that bomb and rotated all the way toward Cabin. Granted, he finds himself in a 1 versus 3, and what he's really going to need to do is try to pick off one player by himself, try to find a quick 1v1 engagement, and try to hold down the site by a certain amount of time. But it looks like ProFeeZy, he's used to diffuses. We saw it obviously on London Docks. We'll see what he can do here. As currently going for that diffuse, can he get it off? And yes, Apox is not going to go for the challenge. Not enough time. As in total, keeping in mind, I believe right now, I want to say 2 players for EvilWithin are combining for 3 and 14. And I believe it's Phantomz, who's currently sitting at 13 and 5. Yeah, both ProFeeZy and Nihill are combined for 3 and 14. Phantomz 13 and 5 by himself. I know we talked about Mr. Consistent. Well, he's having to take over the backpack right now. ProFeeZy and Nihill are hopping in it. And Nihill's obviously a little bit sad, of course, because he broke his nose earlier because Tisch, Superman punched him in the face. But still, we find ourselves level at 4-4, round number 9 up. This is a huge run for either of these teams, especially for the guys on EvilWithin, because keeping in mind, offense is never preferred, especially when it comes to Arden Forest. And if they can win this round, they could potentially not see another offensive for the rest of this match. This, of course, keeping in mind how overtime would work, but this is a big victory. That if they can take this with having 2 players, like I said, at 3 kills total, that would be big. And Phantomz is definitely going to be given a big pat on the back, but Jump, as he has done so far throughout this map, holding down A, not by himself, because of course it looks like Apox just joined alongside of him, but definitely doing a lot of that defensive work. And now Glory coming from cave side takes up Jump with a nice headshot. At the same time, ProFeeZy starts to explode, but Apox and Baker combined for 2. Nihill, last alive, has to go big here, takes out 1, and now we find ourselves in a 1-on-1 battle. Baker versus Nihill, who will grab the 5th round. And Baker, with a big advantage as far as this round is considered, does not have to worry about the objective and just has to play his life and spots Nihill out. Who's going to win the gunfight? And it looks like it will be Baker. Zodiac are now going to be up 5 rounds to 4 as Nihill did all he could, didn't have enough time to get the objective down. And Baker, right place, right time, 5th round found. And Zodiac find themselves with only 1 round needed to close out this series in a 2-0 and be crowned your $300 variant 44 champions.
Definitely looks like it's going in that round 11 direction, but you can see both teams are really slowing down their gameplay. It took almost a minute for both teams to actually start engaging and actually moving around the entire map, where it came down to the 1v1 and pure luck of Nihill versus Baker. Like you said, Zodiac currently in the advantage, but really it's most of the time the defense are preferably going to have the advantage and also most likely win the round, as it's been the case in this map. So Zodiac now on the offense have already lost Baker very early into that round, have Brett holding on to the bomb, and they have their sights set over at B. But if you can see on the minimap, ProFeeZy has been commanding this middle map, so we'll be able to tell if they cross over to A or even if they try to come through middle map, which should be an easy kill for them. So kind of like the previous rounds, a huge standoff between these 2 teams. Now Zodiac really want to win this round and also the $300, so they're going to play extremely cautious and try and even up those numbers.
And what Jump was doing and hanging that back position was waiting for Tisch, or especially Apox, to try and find a pick. Well, they can't do it. And not finding the pick, just as that happens, Phantomz drops the one man that they can't afford to lose if you're on the side of EvilWithin. But coming on the flank is Tisch. They haven't watched their backs, and they will pay for it. 3 versus 2, man advantage right now for Zodiac as ProFeeZy and Nihill start to maybe have a little bit of pressure come in as the streaks will start to come through. Can ProFeeZy stay up? And no, tries to escape, but Apox will greet him with a glide bomb. And now Nihill for the tournament, 1 versus 3, now make it a 1 versus 2, trying to stay up. Can he take out Jump on that B-Dom head glitch? Has the bar in hand, takes a breath, and now tries to engage. Nearly takes down Apox, having players challenging him from all angles, but there's too many players up, too many point of views to try and watch, as it will be Zodiac who wins this one in 10 rounds of play as they lock down and win our grand finals in a hot 2-0. Congratulations to the boys on Zodiac.
Hot 2-0, but I mean, this was a pretty close match, 250 to 219.
Yeah.
They commanded St. Marie's Mall, and over here on Arden Forest really came down to 6-4, I believe, after a round, back-to-back rounds to command this one. And I mean, after a pretty nice win that we got the cast over versus Havoc, we didn't get to see their win against Targaryen, but I assume it was a 2-0, and then a win against Wildcard, and then they are crowned our finals winners here against EvilWithin. So congratulations here to Zodiac.
Yeah.
I thought they performed amazingly. And look at the double digits here from Mike Apox, 11-6. But then it's got to be feels bad for Phantomz finishing 13-7 from the side of EvilWithin.
Yeah, I mean, Phantomz was quite literally a tank throughout, I mean, the entire series, but really kind of performed very, very well when it came down to this game number 2 here, like I said, on Armed Force. Finishes off 13-7 despite the loss. I mean, really, he was just kind of like the solid AR player who, like I said, was Mr. Consistent throughout their entire series, and when he needed to, turned up. And I think this is going to be a major player to be looking out for. I think for right now, I think he's someone to definitely have on your radar as Phantomz. He's definitely going to be on my radar, that's for sure. But when it comes to this EvilWithin roster, I think both of these teams are both going to be at CW and NOLA, as far as at least if my knowledge is correct. I believe they were both able to find a team pass. But I would definitely look at this guy named Phantomz, right? He's Mr. Consistent. He's been playing very well with that assault rifle, and also is still someone who rocks the FG42. I mean, you'll see different players who prefer different weapons. I know even guys are starting to even go toward the M1 Garand, which don't even get me started on that. But we've been seeing a lot of guys grab toward that bar, gravitate toward the STG44. But he's the guy who still rocks out this weapon. Like I said, there is guys who still like to use the FG. It is still obviously a solid weapon, but he finds the weapon, he's good with it, and he continues to rock with it, and he plays his role very, very well. Like, he challenges things that are necessary. I mean, there is no unnecessary gunfights that you're going to see Phantomz most likely get in, especially when his team already has an advantage. And I think he just is a very sound and very refined assault rifle player, and one that you really don't see very often. And I think one that I could really, like I said, kind of combine him, or at least kind of relate him to, is a guy like Octane, of course, for a player for Luminosity Gaming. But like I said, with that in mind, we obviously have to talk about the issues with ProFeeZy here in this final. Of course, finishes off, I believe, 18-30 in the Hardpoint, and also finishes off 3-9 in the Search and Destroy. Him and Nihill combined for 7-18 here in this Search and Destroy. Like I said, with Phantomz playing very well, Glorio's going -2. I mean, those guys definitely kind of at the bottom of the scoreboard were the reason why the kills necessarily weren't happening in the Hardpoint, and obviously were a factor in the Search and Destroy here as well. But like I said, a very close game overall. Congratulations to the guys on Zodiac. They win map number 1 after having a lot of obviously closely contested fights, and obviously played their roles very, very well. Rotated to our parking lot when it came down to St. Marie, and obviously find themselves in the victors, winning that one 250-219. And also here on Armed Force, they win this one in 10 rounds of play, with Apox doing dominance with that sniper rifle, and finishes off 11-6 to give his team the overall edge. But of course, it was a fantastic tournament, and we had a number of awesome teams tonight. I think we had Armada, we obviously had EvilWithin, Bound Esports, Exomoon, 3 Kings, Defy Rebellion, Havoc, and of course our victors here in Zodiac. A really stacked tournament, to say the least, here for our 4v4 variant, of course, here on January 4th. But speaking of tournaments, we also have one taking place tomorrow. I believe we have a $2,500 4v4 variant. If you guys haven't already, make sure to sign up.